All right, hi everyone. Welcome into Flip the Script week, whatever it is. It's been a while now. Um, this is pretty consistent. We did really good last week on our Philly Phanatic video. That got a ton of views. And then the podcast got like 7 or 8 views.
Why aren't you watching the podcast? It's very good.
So I'm actually gonna title this one a little bit differently. So sorry if it was more confusing to find it. I doubt it because only 7 of you watch it, so it shouldn't be that hard to find. But anyways, what do you want to start out with?
Week that was, let's start with the Flyers. Philadelphia's best
Starting off
chance of
strong.
doing anything in the postseason. So the record is they have 83 points. They're 38, 20, and 7. Second in the Metro. They have won 6 in a row, and at last check, the Penguins have lost 6 in a row after a horrible West Coast trip, and we have passed them.
Penguins suck.
So the week that was,
they have. Did you say this? 83 points.
Yep.
Second in the Metro, like you said. On Tuesday, we beat the Sharks at home, 4-2. Scott Laughton had 2 goals. Very nice game from Laughton. People were apparently checking on Laughton during the trade deadline, and Chuck Fletcher was like, "Nah, dude, you can go away." I think that was a smart idea. Laughton's a good player. On Friday, they beat the Rangers at home, 5-2. The Rangers suck. Claude Giroux had 2 goals, and then they did the same thing on the road, beating them 5-2 again today.
It was 5-3, I believe, today.
Yeah. Or 5-3. 5-3 today.
They got out to a 5-1 lead, pretty much buried them, and congrats to Carter Hart for getting it done on the road. Unnecessary. He's been great at home, has struggled on the road. Flyers have looked very, very good. 6-game win streak. I think they're only a point behind Washington right now. To come from where we were, which was basically out of a playoff spot not too long ago. Stood pat pretty much at the trade deadline in terms of we didn't give anybody away. Picked up 2 guys, which was good. Just cost us a couple draft picks and I believe 1 player that was down at Lehigh Valley. So we didn't give away any of our future pieces. And we're doing all this too with they just called Farabee back up, and most of this without Frost too. And so the future remains bright. It looks like if we will make the playoffs, you'll be playing either possibly Washington or Pittsburgh in the first round. I think overall in the NHL, I think we're 5th or 6th, which is pretty impressive. Sixers, take note. This is what you do when you get rid of your coach and you can get better like the Flyers did. So when we touch on the Sixers later, that's something I'd like to see.
You said Grant. He picked up a goal and an assist today. He was the first star of the game. For the week ahead, we have the Capitals on Tuesday. Should be a good test.
Huge game at the Capitals. Love to play really well in that one.
Hurricanes on Wednesday, and then the Sabres on Saturday. Hurricanes should be a good game, and then the Sabres, that's a game
I did rightly predict last week that we would take 6 points, and we did take 6 points. With a game at the Caps, home for the Hurricanes and home for the Sabres, I'm going to predict that we take 5 out of the 6 points.
Really? I was going to say we take 3. We go
only
slower.
3 points? I think we're going to take 5. I'm going to ride the wave, Flyers. Best thing going in Philly right now.
That's true. They look. A lot of people have been comparing them to the 2010 team.
But the 2010 team scraped into the playoffs as a 7 seed on the last day in a shootout against the Rangers.
Yeah,
ironically, but I think this team is better than that team. But it's about getting into the playoffs, and as we saw last year in the NHL, both 1 seeds lost to 8 seeds. So you just got to get in and you got to get hot. So hopefully, the mixture of the role that we're on right now is something that's sustainable, and then hopefully the guys can keep doing it.
On to the 76ers now. Their record is now 37-24. They're 5th in the East. Why? On Monday, they beat the Hawks at home 129-112. Embiid had 49 points and no Simmons. That sucks. Apparently, he'll
just when you think, okay, we don't have Simmons because of the back injury, Embiid's going to take over and dominate this team as he did with 49 points after we beat the Hawks, after we've lost to the Hawks twice this year, by the way, which is a disaster. Then in the next game, what happened?
We lost to the Cavs. That's bad.
Yeah, and Embiid got hurt 5-6 minutes into that game. And the good news is, I guess his shoulder injury is only supposed to be out for a week, maybe a week and a half. He did not travel to LA with the team for the current game, which was today. Well, let's go in order here.
They beat the Knicks.
We beat the Knicks 115-106.
Harris had 34
thankfully,
points.
I mean, you're playing a dormant bottom feeder Knicks, but again, it was at home. Where I think we're now 28-2. Harris finally stepped up, which he's got to when there's no Embiid and Simmons, which leads us to today, which was the game against the Clippers. You know, we raced out. We were 7 of 11 for 3 in the first quarter, which is clearly not sustainable and clearly not anything like we are. We had a 2-point lead at halftime. That was gone by the end of the third, and we ended up losing 130 to 136. The biggest discrepancies as I looked at is honestly the Clippers shot amazing from the field. Our defense was porous at best. We shot actually pretty well. I think we had 15 more field goal attempts than they did, but they had probably 15 or 16 more made free throws, and they shot like 55-60% from the field. So was that just their great shooting, or was that our porous defense? Probably a little bit of both, but you give up 136 points most of the time, you lose.
For the week ahead, they go on a California road trip at the Lakers on Tuesday, at the Kings on Thursday, at the Warriors on Saturday. I say we win one of these
My
games.
prediction for this 4-game road trip was 1-3, and that counted the Clippers game today. I think they'll lose to the Lakers, and I think they'll lose. They should. There's no reason they should lose to the Kings or Warriors. There's a possibility Embiid comes back maybe for that last game, but they'll lose. And I don't think it's impossible that they go in for, but I think that they'll sneak one out and go 1-3 and continue their road woes. As we said earlier, they're fifth in the East. There's no chance of them getting into the 1, 2, or 3. They're going to either finish 4, 5, or 6. You're looking at playing either Miami, as probably is the 4 right now, Indiana is a 6. You fall to that 6 seed, then you're probably playing Toronto or Boston in the first round. And the way we're playing right now, we could be exiting stage left very quickly. I'm not sure if we're going to even make it through a round. The injuries, they make me sad because they make the team worse, but it also continues to give the Brett Brown lovers an excuse for why they're not winning. But the bottom line is it's time to move on. See the Flyers. We got rid of Hackstall. We need
They're in the
somebody.
same
We
building.
need
It's not that
somebody
hard.
in there that will bring Simmons and Embiid back to life. Because honestly, I feel like they're coddled, and I feel like Brett Brown doesn't have any control over them. He asked Ben Simmons to shoot one a day, 1 3-pointer a game, and Ben Simmons has shot none since then. Uh, and I know that they're injured, and that's kind of an excuse for Brown, but it's time for a new voice. He's had his time, and I don't want to sit here this year and say, well, we'll be healthy again next year, because you know what, we won't be healthy again next year, and we won't be healthy again the year after that. So you got to start drafting players that can actually play and that aren't physically hurt.
All right, I'm done talking about the Sixers. They make me sad. On to the Phillies. They finished February 6-2-1. Tied, yes, in spring training. They beat the Orioles today. They lost 2-3, so they're now 6-3-1 on the preseason.
Yeah.
That's still a pretty good record. Andrew McCutchen's out for the foreseeable future. That's all right though, because Roman Quinn, Adam Hazley, Jay Bruce, Bryce Harper, all those guys will be up there. Um, I can eventually see Quinn being a bench guy. Hopefully, now with the expanded 26-man roster, along with Neil Walker and Logan Forsythe, Josh Harrison. So we have good base running with Quinn and Josh Harrison, even though he's lost a step or two. But still, we should be good there. And the main thing that worries me is our pitching. I've heard Ranger Suarez is doing good. He's battling out for the 5th spot. We'll see what he can do. They still haven't fixed the Phanatic, so that's not good. And Bryson Stott and Alec Boehm have played both sides of the infield. Boehm is tearing it up. I think he's batting something like 583. Why he doesn't make the team out of spring is ridiculous.
He won't make the team out of spring because they want to control his rights, so he'll be called up probably April 20th or whatever the day is. This is what every team does, so they have the extra year of control. It's the same game. The only person they didn't do that with was Kingery, by the way, but they gave him a long-term contract, but not at insane money.
Yeah, which was smart. It ended up working out because Kingery's a good player.
The priority for the Phillies is stay healthy.
And fix the Phanatic.
Spring training is, Wheeler pitched. He pitched okay in his first one. Nola pitched all right. Guys just got to stay healthy. With regards to the Phanatic, as we double back to this again, the creators came out with a comment and basically said, it's laughable what the Phillies did with their changes, and I agree with them. So I need somebody to be able to blame for this. So I need to be able to blame the creators, or I need to be able to blame the Phillies, because I need to know how much money the creators want and how much money the Phillies offered, so I can see who's really at fault for this disgusting waste of my hero.
Todd Zalecki, Jim Salisbury, get on it, please.
I want to know what the money was.
Okay, on to the Wings. Go ahead, Dad.
Wings 7-5. They dropped a close one to Colorado, 11-10. They're now actually in 3rd place in their division, 8th place overall in the East. It's a logjam. 13 teams in the league, 8 make it. I'd be disappointed if they didn't make it. When you get into the playoffs, the first 2 rounds are straight single elimination. They're 7-5. They're 2/3 through their season. They got 6 games left. Let's hope that they can keep it up. As far as the barrage, We updated you on that. They still haven't announced where they're going to play their games or the game starts, but though they do have their opener at the end of May.
Do they have a logo?
I think they're using the old logo and colors, which were blue and orange.
Let me look that up. Keep talking. Though.
3 championships in 5 years. Too bad one of the powerhouses, Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, or Sixers can't do that.
They kind of look like the Flyers logo.
A little bit, but I'm okay with that.
Kind of cool. I like it.
Soul update for you.
Soul update. They're still defunct. Sadly.
I gotta think that they're gonna try to bring that league back at some point.
They
Otherwise, they should just join the indoor league like the Rattlers did, and because there is another indoor.
I kind of wish they did just join the indoor football league when they had.
We'll see. I mean, they sat out a year before. I believe it was 2009. There was no arena football league, so hopefully they're trying to fix it and get it back together. I guess the players' insurance was the problem with that, but they're still defunct.
Yeah.
Eagles go.
NFL Combine. Who cares?
Well, the best thing about the Combine was when you showed me the tweet about all the people.
Oh yeah.
Read that. Say that.
I'll see if I can find it. Go on to the Union.
I'm going to save the Union for the end. The best tweet was about how scouts don't trust anybody else. So even though they're using laser technology to judge the 40-yard dash, all of them are there with their stopwatches. Like it's somehow more accurate than the electronic.
That's literally all it was. It was pretty funny.
You know what?
Credit to whoever.
What I have read so far is, they're toying between a wide receiver. There's 3 or 4 really elite wide receivers. Obviously, we need to grab one of those and probably trade or sign for a free agent for a cornerback because you're not going to get both in the first round, obviously, with one pick. We need elite level wide receivers. We need somebody that can come in and make an impact to go with Deshaun Jackson, and who knows if Alshon Jeffrey will be back. But we've got to be better at wide receiver. My goodness, we could have been at least 12-4 if we actually had wide receivers last year instead of 9-7. We shall see.
We'll see. Go ahead.
Philadelphia Union, you're killing me. You're killing me. I don't know what to do with you. I support you. I love you. I go to 1 or 2 of your games every year, and I don't even live in the state. I still love the stadium. The location is still horrible. The stadium itself is great. But my goodness, here we are again. We spend an entire offseason, like we spend every freaking offseason, talking about the Union need more scoring. The Union need more scoring. The Union need more scoring. What's holding the Union back? They don't score enough goals. So what's the score at halftime? 0-0. Then they're down 0-1 and 0-2. Opener at Dallas, they lose 0-2. And why do we lose? Because we still can't score goals. Season 11. And we still can't score goals. Somehow we miraculously were the 3 seed in the East last year. Somehow. We won a lot of close games, low scoring games. Other teams seem to be able to score, but we just don't pay the right people, or we don't pay people in general. But my goodness, here we go. There's 34 games. The long running joke is, hey, the Union are playing. What's the score? 0-0. 90% of the time it's 0-0 or 1-1.
And when that's the case, who's winning? The Bears. The Bears are winning.
It's just frustrating that right out the gate, game 1, 0 goals. It just means that nothing has changed, that it's going to be another plodding season where we just don't really contend for the MLS Cup. We don't really have a legitimate shot at it because we can't score goals. We got our first playoff win last year. That's great. Took 10 years. Shouldn't have taken 10 years. Atlanta did it a lot faster than 10 years.
We're a joke.
Well, it's just frustrating that we cannot score goals. I don't know if it's Jim Curtin's system or if it's the players, but much like it's time for a new voice with the Sixers, like it was for the Flyers, it's beyond time for a new voice for the Union. And, Jim Curtin got him there last year as a 3 seed, but we had no realistic chance of winning. We still gave up 3 goals in that game, miraculously scored 4 goals in a playoff game. That'll never happen again. But I'm so sick and tired of not paying the people and not being legitimate title contenders. Prove me wrong, Union. You got 33 more games. How many 0-point games do I have to sit through where we just do nothing, and we score no goals, and it's frustrating to watch, and it's painful to watch, and I want the team to do better, and I cheer for the team, and they don't score goals. You can't win when you don't score goals. It's a crazy concept in soccer. But whatever formation Jim Curtin's rolling with, if he's still rolling with the 4-4-2, he needs to trash it. He needs to create offense.
Okay. Is it time to show off some stuff?
Sure. Items of the week.
Okay. I'll start with the Danny Briere puck. I got this puck when we went to see some Flyers rookies, like Joel Farabee and
This past summer?
yeah, a lot of guys who actually made the team, and Danny's son Carson was playing, so Danny was there. Went and a lot of people will like meet a lot of the players in the parking lot. Ran over to Danny, got him to sign the puck. Met him. That was really cool because that's basically one of my favorite players growing up. When I played hockey, I always did a celebration where we would like go down and touch the ice, or I did the Yager salute because that was awesome too. But yeah, Danny Briere, one of my favorite players of all time. Him, Jeff Carter, Simone Gagne, Mike Richards. Loved watching that team, even though they never got it done. I hate you, Patrick Kane.
Yeah, they gave us a great run. At
Hate
least
you.
they gave us a great run.
But thanks, Danny Briere.
My item of the week, along with my gritty replica figure right here, I'm going to go with my 20-inch gritty bleacher creature.
I feel like you've shown this off before.
If I showed it off before, who knows? Nobody's watching, so they don't know if I have or not. So I can show this off and my figure. As you can see, we're harping on Flyers more than anything this week because
we are proud.
We're proud of the efforts that they've taken this week. So the 20-inch gritty bleacher creature makes a nice addition to the 10-inch one that we also have. This one really sets itself apart with his size and his flexibility. You know,
what
calisthenics. He's able to do a lot of different things. I caught him doing push-ups the other day. He's really big into jumping jacks. So I appreciate his hard work. Also highlight my official mascot replica. We got two of those, one that we can take out of the box, one we keep in the box. Kind of like a McFarlane figure, but of gritty. You can't go wrong with that. I wish they would make a Phanatic one of those two, but it better be the real Phanatic, not the imposter that they're currently trying to give us. And Gritty, by the way, was supporting the Phanatic with his...
We disagree, Gritty.
Well, I understand that Gritty's just trying to show him support, but let's hope that the real Phanatic gets back to his old ways very soon.
All right, well, that's going to do it. Look out for another video next week that I have to get from his and my mom's phone. I did some pretty embarrassing stuff in front of a lot of people at my school. You'll see it next week. I just didn't have the time to put it all together because, you know, one more week till spring break, 2 more weeks till we're in Philly.
Yep.
So
2 weeks from tonight.
We'll see you guys there. If you are there, come say hi. If you're one of the 7 people that watch the podcast.
If one of the 7 of you see us, feel free to come up and say hi. We appreciate you watching.
Yeah, okay, bye.